thought I'd just do a little update on my agoraphobia journey. It's really sunny. set, set the camera up in a bit of a sunny spot now. I can endure. Um, so basically, yeah, today I had the lady who does graded exposure came today. We had been walking to the school, which is about a 5 minute walk from my house. My aim is to be able to, obviously, to be able to take the kids to school and pick them up. That's one of my goals. And today, so basically, she rang the school, spoke to the head teacher and asked if they would be okay with me, because my problem was getting in the school. Like once I got it, basically once I got into the school, you have to go around the back, and like once I'm like through this little gate and like round the back of the school, I feel really like the thought of it like was just terrified me. It just made me feel trapped. So the school was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They said that I could come, and obviously all the kids are in the classrooms, and I'm not actually going into the school itself. I'm just in the playground bit. So yeah, we went into reception. So when she said that she came today, and I knew she was going to be ringing them, and when she came and she said that they agreed and they said they want to do all they can to support me. Obviously, I was like chuffed that they're going to do that, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that means I've got to go into school. That means I've got to actually do it now. So she was like, so we're going to do it? Do you want to do it now? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I like immediately, like, I was just like, oh, I'm really, really panicking now. But I'm pleased to say, yeah, we got to reception. One of the receptionists came round, unlocked the side gate for us so that we could get round into the playground and walk round to the spot where I would pick my two boys up and stand and pick the boys up. And I actually made it all the way to that spot and stood with the anxiety. The anxiety was really high walking into that gate. But yeah, I would. So basically, what we do with graded exposure is you will rate your anxiety from having no anxiety at all at 0 to 100%, and my anxiety was at 80%. Like 100% is like full blown panic attack, basically, like that you can't control, I guess. My anxiety was at 80% going in, and then the aim is with graded exposures to stay in that spot that is causing that anxiety for as long as you can, and with the aim of actually reducing it. And so I stood in that spot, and the anxiety actually came down to about 40% whilst I was stood in that spot, which I was quite shocked about, really, because I just imagined, which is half the problem, is that you imagine the worst case scenario. I imagined going in and just not feeling comfortable and just standing there. I thought, I'll just stand there and I'll just be really, really anxious and like want to cry, and then we'll leave. But I actually managed to stand there and do some of the grounding techniques, like that I'd been taught. We were looking about. She was giving me advice on like what could you do, while you stood here if you start to feel anxious, in the future when you were doing it. And I was like, there's like a climbing wall thing in the playground, and I was saying, I could count all the little pegs, the things that you put your hands on. I thought I said I could count those on the wall, like that would be distraction. And I was like looking around, like noticing things that I'd never, like obviously I've, before I got ill, like I've been in that playground hundreds of times, picking the kids up from school. And there was things that I was like noticing today that I'd not noticed before because I was looking around and trying to distract myself from my own thoughts of feeling unsafe or needing to be back home. But I've done it. I'm proud that I've done it. And you really, I think with this journey, if anyone is going through a similar journey themselves, I think what I would advise is like really, when you do something like that where you are pushing yourself to do something that's, yes, it might seem normal to everybody else, but to you it's terrifying. And to actually push yourself to do something that's terrifying is brave, and you've got to give yourself the credit for it. Like, if you're making yourself do something that's terrifying, then that is brave. What you're doing, you're strong and you're brave. You're not weak. And then the other thing as well is that, like, remember, how far you've come. Like, when we were coming back, we got to a point on the journey back where there's a wall and outside the corner shop, and we sat on the wall, and I was like saying, you know what, it's strange, like I don't feel anxious sat here, but a few months ago this would have felt almost impossible to do, but now because I've kept pushing myself further and further, that point that, like, today sitting on that wall wasn't bringing me any anxiety, whereas a few months ago it would have. So it's important to remember how far you've come when you're on this journey, and it's important to remember that it's not to compare yourself to other people. Your personal journey through life is your journey. Stay in your lane. Like, what's easy for other people isn't easy for you, because you might have a mental illness, or you might have a physical, disability or whatever. Like, if you're pushing yourself to do something that makes you scared, then you're brave. If you're living with something like this, then, and getting up every day and getting on and trying to just trying to get through it, then you're amazing for doing it. And just keep reminding yourself that. So yeah, graded exposure was good today. Some days it'll be harder than others, but I've had a good day.